What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Danny the Bull, back with another live stream. First one in a little while. A lot to talk about. A lot going on with Veve and Omi as usual. We got the Funko partnership. We got New York Comic Con right around the corner. We got a Louis Vuitton partnership, which I'm seeing now. Veve Meister just posted something on Twitter, tweeted something out that it looks like it's not just a Marvel partnership, but maybe they actually partnered with Veve themselves as well. So there's that. There's Omi, of course, which is always interesting to talk about crypto and where it's at. We're currently in the month of October, a historical month, historically a month that crypto performs very well in, and we're seeing that in the early parts of October right now. The crypto market is doing pretty well. So a lot to talk about, as always. I want to get into the chat, talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, and I think we're going to have a guest on today. So it's going to be a good one. Let's see who we got in the house first. SoCal Omi Homie is first in the building. What's good, SoCal? We got B Pro 100X. He's second in the house. Rigby is in the house. So a lot to talk about. It's been a little while since I'm back at work, and it's a little hard to stream as much as I was streaming in the summer. But I'm gonna try to do at least twice a week. Been a minute since my last one. And of course, we got that Funko partnership, which is really, really cool. I love the fact that it's a bear market and Veve continues to build during the bear market, continues to partner with other companies. And Funko is not a small company. They're a pretty sizable, nice, big toy company, well-known. So that's dope. And we're going to hear what this guy has to say about it because I haven't heard. What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Thanks for joining, man, last minute.
No, thanks for the invite. My meeting, that I had outside of all of this stuff got pushed a bit. So I'm super stoked to be chatting with you. It's good to see you again.
Yeah, man, you too. And I'll see you in person soon, huh? You're coming over to New York?
I'm wearing my Yankees hat. I'm getting ready.
Well,
you're not a Yankee fan?
I'm from Queens, man.
Oh, okay.
I'm a Mets fan, but they both suck, so.
Well, hey, if Judge didn't miss 55 games this year, maybe we'd be in the playoffs today.
You think that would have done it?
I don't know. They were close. People think because I'm from Canada that I'm supposed to be a Blue Jays fan, and they're in the same division. And I am, generally, right? Like, I wish them well, but no, I'm Yankees all the way for whatever reason. I like the Mets.
Yeah,
too.
why
like
is you were always a Yankees fan growing up?
From the early 90s, yeah, like before the Jeter era, before they started winning, I was, for some reason, just became a fan. I'm not sure why. I think it's the history of it all. I think, actually, you know what it probably was? Those baseball documentaries?
Ken Burns stuff? Or
yeah, the Ken Burns stuff.
Yeah, that's a great series, man.
Yeah, some people may not know. I watched all those in the early 90s when they were coming out on PBS and all that. And I just was like, I'm from Canada, but I played Little League growing up. Like, there's Canada in British Columbia, like that's the province in the West Coast. Baseball is pretty popular, right? Especially growing up. So I played full on legit Little League. And so I was really into baseball, and watching that series, probably just the history of the Yankees and watching that over and over again, that I think that kind of got me going. And then the Yankees Red Sox rivalry and just the history of it all. And then, if all the movies, Field of Dreams, and all that whole era, right? Like, I know that's not a Yankee thing; that's a White Sox thing.
Yeah, but the history of the whole, yeah.
Yeah, so I just like the Yankees,
because the Blue Jays won back-to-back championships in the early 90s.
Yeah, and I was stoked. Like, I was super happy about that. In fact, and I know your viewers here probably don't care too much about this, but the Montreal Expos, right? Well, remember in 95 when they had the strike, or sorry, 94, they had the strike. They were the best team in baseball. Yeah. And it was looking like they could they could have made it like they could have maybe won it that year, and then of course they were gone after that, not too long after, but that would have been kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, I was a Blue Jays fan, like the whole country got swept up in it, but I still the Yankees. I got what can you say, right?
Actually, you've never been to a Yankee game in New York?
No way, you haven't? You haven't a chance
No,
to
you haven't. I'm asking you if you have.
Me? No,
Yeah.
I've never even been to New York. This will be my first time
wow.
ever in New York City or anywhere. I've been to Chicago, I've been to LA, I've been to a few other American cities, Seattle, Portland, down up the West Coast, right? Mostly. But I've never been to New York. So I'm just like losing my mind here about this Comic-Con coming up.
So you're excited?
Yeah, man, I'm jacked. Like, I mean, just everything to do with the con that's happening, the potential announcements, the spectacle of apparently those parties are going to be something, especially that first one with Funko and Ron English and all that stuff. I mean, that's Thursday night. So I actually went for that drop. I got the little dudes, so I should get the invite at some point. I mean, all the gold and silver logo holders, they got their invite right away. And then a bunch of us were kind of confused. We were like, oh, I thought if you went for the drop and got the blind box, you got an invite as well. And they said they're, sending those out this week or something. So I should get that invite so I can go to that party. And then Veve Vibes is going to be hanging out with me mostly. I think we're going to share accommodations or something if we can, just to keep the cost down,
Yeah, absolutely.
And,
it's very expensive, man.
Yeah, and I'm staying just out, like not in Manhattan, like downtown. I'm staying like more towards the LaGuardia Airport area because that's where I fly out.
I work around there.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Hopefully, we'll get a chance. We'll get a chance to hang out.
We'll,
right?
we'll meet up. Yeah, I'll see you at the parties for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Do you have tickets yet to the actual con event?
I do. Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Nice.
I haven't done Sunday yet. I didn't go for the whole package, because I was actually booked the trip a bit late. So they were like that 4-day thing was already sold out, but I was able to do the, you can do it. Like if it's sold out, you can request. It costs more, but you can still get them. And so I did that. I requested.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So Thursday was still not sold out. So I grabbed that one. But then Friday and Saturday, because Saturday is always the best day usually, right? At any big convention. Yeah.
Saturday.
So those 2 days, I was like, okay, well, I went to the New York City Comic Con website where the tickets are, and you can put a request in. And so you click on it, and because, people cancel, or I don't know if they resell them. I don't know what the deal is, but they're more expensive for sure if you get them like after they're sold out. But it took about a day and a half only. And I managed to get awarded the Friday, Saturday. I also went for the press pass, like I applied like.
Yeah. So Randy had gotten that.
Yeah, I did the social media influencer pass. I mean, I haven't heard anything, but that was only a few days ago. So you probably had to do that like ages ago, right? So, but I added up all my socials, because they ask you like there's a application form. And I was like, if I add up the 3 platforms, I kind of do. I got it not like big, but I got some numbers, so I was like, maybe I will get it. So maybe next year, I'll do that.
It's good to do it for next. It's good to know it for next year because you can do it in advance.
Yeah, try to maybe, because if you get that pass, it's a lot of money saved. Of course, I'm going to be doing vids or if as much as I can while I'm there. But but it's I'm just stoked to go. I've never walked around in New York. That's what Sunday's sort of for me. I thought, maybe I'm not at the convention. Maybe on Sunday I'm.
Yeah,
checking out the city and then maybe doing something after. I don't know. We'll see. It's pretty open.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Take advantage of being there.
Yeah, sure.
I'm only going on Saturday because I work, so I'm going to take off on Friday.
Yeah,
I should say that on stream maybe, but
yeah, right. Do your coworkers watch you?
No, they don't. They don't know about this.
That's so true, right? How many people know about what we do? Hey?
Yeah. So, Thursday night is the party. Then it's rough to get up for work on Friday, and then I'll go to the party again on Friday, and then go to the con on Saturday. And I'm in Queens, so it's like to go to the con Friday, then I have to come home and then go back out. And my wife's going to come with me to that party.
Yeah, sure.
So it's going to be fun.
Yeah, it should be great. I mean, I'm just kind of, I really don't know what's going to happen. And then like Eli Manning's going to be at the Marvel booth on Friday or sorry, Thursday. So like, what's that all about? I mean, I don't know if that has anything to do with Veve, but I mean,
What are your thoughts?
about Eli Manning. So, well, I
Yeah,
know
yeah, your speculation. Yeah.
Yeah, Vivi's talked about some sports like, connectivity at somehow. I never really knew how that would go. I was always thinking that if they did bring in like athletes, it wouldn't be like the Giants or the Lakers or the Yankees. It would be the athlete themselves, like it would be like, how like, they like they're their own like entity, right? So maybe you have like a Eli Manning collectible, but it's not like a New York Giants, because that would have to be NFL Players Association, blah, blah, blah. And he's retired. So he's doing something with Marvel. I mean, I don't know what. And we just saw this fashion Marvel thing that's going on. I'm still trying to figure out what that's all about. So who knows what happens? Maybe because Vivi's there, maybe this is the sports connection, with athletes. I don't know.
Yeah, I did see that Marvel is doing some like superhero day at like stadiums.
Okay.
So I'm thinking that
Yeah.
that's the connection there, and they're partnering with the NFL for like superhero day and like a cross brand thing. But
Okay.
who knows?
I don't know, right? Maybe they'll be like, "Oh yeah, Eli Manning NFTs on Veve," or so. I don't know. Like with Marvel, maybe he's like dressed like, who would he be if he was a superhero? He wouldn't be a Tom Brady type. He has to take down. He'd be more like, what would he be like if you were to make him a Marvel hero? He couldn't be like, straight at the top. He's great, but
Hawkeye
like,
or something.
yeah, Hawkeye. Yeah. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. Those two Patriots Super Bowl victories are pretty special, though. That's for damn sure. Especially that the undefeated season one, right? With the catch.
Sure.
I mean, that one's insane. I'm by the way, I'm also a New York Giants fan. So
how is this possible, man?
well, I'm not. That's as far as it goes. Is baseball and football. I also like the Chicago Bears because they just kind of look cool, even though they've sucked for years. But but in hockey, like I'm a Canucks fan because I'm in Vancouver, right? And of course, the New York Rangers and New York Islanders have beat us in the finals twice. First time with the great teams of the '80s with Bossy and all them. They swept us good, and then in '94, right, the Rangers with Messier beat us, and that was huge. And so I'm not a big fan of the New York hockey teams. And in basketball, I'm not a fan of the Knicks or the Nets or anything. I'm a Laker fan, right? So since like '89. So I don't know why. I just sometimes you just don't know why. Maybe it was a game I watched and the Giants, they look good. Like I mean, I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. For some reason, I just kind of like most NFL football, though. Like Seattle's sort of the team in our region because, Seattle. So I've been a big fan of the Seahawks for a long time, but I don't know. For some reason, my heart just wants to root for the Giants. I don't know why.
Follow your heart.
Yeah.
So what do you think about the Funko partnership, man? You loving that? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was saying this in the spaces the other day that, I try to look at it from the other side. Like, why is Funko wanting to partner with Veve? I think that's big for Veve. Like, Vive's done great. I mean, with the licenses they've signed and all this stuff, but if you look at it from the other angle and you go like, so you're Funko, right? I mean, you're doing pretty good. You have, massive sales and quite a big following. I know they've thrown a lot in the dumpsters, apparently, right? In the last couple of years.
I saw that article.
But generally speaking, like they're very successful. And so they're obviously getting into the digital game. And they've already been doing that with Wax and stuff. So, but like for them to go, okay, let's do something with Veve, because it's probably Veve approached them and they have probably approached that. They're already in the NFT game, right? So they would have been aware, I think, of Veve. So in my guess. So the fact that like it goes both directions is exciting for me for Veve itself, because I mean they got Disney and Marvel and all that and Star Wars and all the other stuff they got. And like Funko, though, I mean, the potential of what they could do there, just bridging the gap, between for collectors, for physical and, just physical, this kind of thing they're doing.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool as long as they keep it going and maybe do a run. Now, they didn't do the pops. They did the gold, statues, which aren't as popular, but if you're a physical collector, you know. But they did introduce a new size of it, like it's 18. It's a big one, right? They've never done that before with this kind of Funko toy. So I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's just bullish on digital collecting, like just the space, because these big companies that are selling toys to collectors and physical stuff, they're starting to get into the digital side of things, right? And it looks like Veve's perfect for even just to dip their feet in it, like to test it out. We're kind of going to be guinea pigs on this one, right? Like, and see if it works. So $150, a little high, you know, but it's very limited. And you know, Funko, those chase figures they do in the Pop series anyway, because Pops are the small ones, right?
Yeah.
As you know, right? These are a different kind of figure. I mean, people go nuts for those, especially the Comic-Con exclusives and stuff like that. So I know it's on the 18th, but they're going to announce it like really at that party on Thursday, probably. So I don't know. I'm pretty stoked about it. You know,
I agree that. Yeah, I love the fact that Vivi's just building during the bear and making partnerships and exploring that digital side and trying to grow. But I do agree that it can't be a one-off thing. I'd like it to be a series to create multiple exposures towards, you know, physical collectors. I do agree with Sound Money here. Funko is selling to the Veve community. I think that the physical, I think that they're going to be people bridged from the digital side of things to physicals. I think with Veve, we've seen people who weren't even collectors. Maybe they came from crypto, NFT, whatever, and they weren't even physical collectors, and now they're buying physicals, and it kind of working in reverse. So I think that Funko's looking to do that. And I think it's going to take multiple exposures to really gain some traction.
It's an interesting statement, because you know, we're chatting about that yesterday too, and that sentiment right there that they're selling. But you know, there's sentiment that we don't have a lot of users, and so you know, Funko doesn't need the Veve customers. So I think Funko's got a bigger plan than just trying to sell some toys to the Veve community. The Veve community is how big right now, right? I think Funko has got a bigger plan, and they see probably Veve as something to build with for the future of this stuff, because they've been trying it on their own. And you know, I'm not exactly sure how successful like the wax stuff has been. I know those packs have been selling out okay. If you go to their digital site, like they've been doing all right, you know, those kind of like card packs they got. And but like, you know, it's not like Funko is like just looking to sell stuff to Veve people, because there's not enough of us for them to even make it even like worthwhile, if you think about it, considering the fact that what they have on their physical side. So then you have to ask, well, why are they doing this then? Is it just to sell a couple thousand units and try to get us a couple thousand people go and buy Funko toys? That's very like limited in scope and sight. And I think it's much bigger than that. I think Funko is looking down the road. And I think it's for both directions, you know, like kind of like what McFarlane was offering.
Yeah.
He's got the big dominant physical collecting space, and he's just launching this, you know, digital platform as an option for his customers, but he's not going all in on it yet. He's just sort of like testing the waters. I think that's probably what Funko's doing, because we have a built-in community that they probably know will go after this. But you know, I don't, you know what I mean? We're not big enough for them to go, wow, we really got to get into that Veve market to sell toys all day.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
No, I agree. But I think it's definitely part of a concerted effort on their part to just enter the NFT space.
Yeah.
Not necessarily leverage the Veve community, but what can we do? How can we grow and expand our product line and take advantage of this emerging space?
Yeah.
And I agree that Veve is the perfect partnership there, because of, you know, how they've built their, you know, the ease of use and how they've onboarded the community they've built and all that.
For sure. Yeah. We'll see how it goes, right? I'm curious about it. You know,
so you're going for it? You're gonna
I don't know. $150 is a lot
of money.
And I'm kind of getting out of physical collecting. Like, it's, you know, not fully, but like, I mean, you know, I got my stuff, but You know, I didn't go for the McFarlane original releases when you got the physicals either, because I thought that was really cool. It's just I'm more just digital, so I'm hoping that they do more like, you know, digital releases like only through Veve, like Funko, you know, characters and stuff, like the pops maybe, or you know, but it's going to be really intriguing just from like, say if you just want to make money on this one, uh the I'm still trying to figure it out in my head, but the set there, I think there's like the most rare one. What is there? I think there are people saying there's like 50 of them minted or
Wow.
something. I mean, that's
Yeah, I've heard
insane,
that.
right? I have to look at those numbers, so you know, please don't quote me, everybody. But it gets really scarce, you know, in that grouping, right? Depending on which one you get physically. So I'm still going to decide on that when we go to New York and we're at that party. I'm going to really like, because I'm a customer, right? I'm just not just going to blindly go buy it. I have to want it. So I want to look at it. I want to see what they bring and what they're presenting, because I think the Funko's going to present some stuff at that Thursday night. And I kind of want to like, you know, I'm taking my time with it, you know, and if it's something that I really want, maybe I will go after. But here's the other problem. I'm in Canada. So I don't think it's even available to me to go for. Like, so I might be removed from this promotion, you know, just because of where I live, you know. So of course, I know people in the States who might could help me out with
Yeah,
it.
I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So, but you know, that's another interesting thing is like it's region close. Although a lot of promotions for Veve and stuff with these companies, like with, you know, are kind of closed to the United States. Like I'm in Canada. I'm literally like 5 minutes across the border. If I lived there, I could get it. So it's kind of funny, right? So
Yeah.
I'll have to wait and see what that's all about too, right? So
It's interesting also that they're going to be at the party. It's like a joint venture. So
yeah,
I'm definitely excited for it to be more than a one off and see where it goes. And just then they can, you know, what McFarlane was talking about, Tom McFarlane, he was on, I think it was Paul Barron or something being interviewed. And he was
good
talking,
interview. Yeah,
yeah. And in that interview, it was interesting to see his perspective as being someone being in the toy industry for so long. He
yeah.
talked about just wanting to take a year to collect data
Hmm.
and see how people's buying habits change and see, you know, if his physical collectors can be bridged to the digital or how many digitals move over to physical, and just to see how it all works.
Yeah.
So it's totally new space. It's being carved out in real time.
That's wild, isn't it? Like I, you know, it is. I was saying to somebody yesterday, we were talking about this. There's a really good Twitter space that happened yesterday. It was quite intense, and but in a good way. Like it was really awesome. And we were just talking about like one point I brought up was are these digital collectibles even really for us? You know what I mean? Like they are right now,
I
but
think I caught that part of it.
yeah,
Yeah.
in 10 years from now, I mean, like this is I'm just guessing, right? But in
Yeah.
anticipating that more people are going to be interested in digital collecting. I mean, that's kind of the reason I think I'm here, right? Is because I see that, you know, kind of see that developing, hopefully. And so all this stuff they're doing, this testing, right? Like we're the ones who are we're shaping it, right? Whether we buy it or not, or what we want or not. And these platforms, like you said, McFarlane, that was a really great interview. If people haven't seen it on the Paul Barron Network, you know, I know a lot of VV people are upset with Paul, but that interview with Todd, I mean, listening to Todd McFarlane talk about how he sees the digital space, how he can reach customers without like shipping costs and
Yeah.
like all these kind of barriers, and how he kind of sees the potential of that with like being able to have a fan of his in some country that normally might not be able to get one of his statues or toys, who now he might be able to get access to, and they'd be able to like, you know, and so his notion of like making it a, like you were saying, just making it like an option and then testing it out. And his attitude was like, if it doesn't work, and it doesn't work, like for him.
Yeah. He still has the physical.
Yeah, he's got the physical side of it, which, you know, as you know, like, I mean, look at us. We'll still, even though I'm going more into digital, we'll still go for physical stuff. It's I can't even go into a toy store. I can't even imagine what I'm going to do in New York, man. There's going to be some places there that, you know, even at the con itself, like walking around and like with toys and like, I don't know. I have to bring a small suitcase so I don't load up a big one. You know, on the way
You're gonna
back,
end up
right?
with bags. You're gonna go home with bags.
Well, at Decon, so when I went to Decon, right, I was standing at the booth all day, like last year, right? I
Yeah.
was at the booth all day and chatting with people. And then Alex, right, from Veve, you know, he was like, he was going to go off and go to a booth because there's like an artist he wanted to check out. And I was like, oh, I'll go with you. He's like, yeah, sure. So we just like literally 5 minutes, we walked over to this booth. I bought a $75 toy. Like I just left the booth once. So I was like, I'm not leaving the booth again because it was awesome. It was like a custom made Mandalorian.
Nice.
But he's basketballing, like he's dunking. And inside the bubble, it was like a Star Wars kind of like package, the old school kind, right? And with the little bubble, and it was the Mandalorian, and he's wearing Jordans, and the Jordans were custom painted to be like Mandalorian colors. And so anyway, it was like a beautiful custom piece that this artist had done, and there's like 25 of them or something. So I couldn't not walk away. But if I have to be careful, right? Because like, you know, right? So
expensive, yeah.
I know myself, so I'll be around looking around at all these booths, but I'll probably come back with some stuff for sure.
See, what I do is it's a couple months before Christmas, so I'll buy myself stuff and I'll give it to people to give me for Christmas. Because we do like a Kris Kringle in my family, so like we draw names out of a hat, and like one of my brothers will pick me.
Okay,
he'll
nice.
have to spend like a certain amount or whatever, because we don't buy for everyone, we buy for like one person. So I'll give
that's
them
a good way to do it,
and then they give them to me.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it for sure. That way, everybody kind of give and whatever, but you're not have to buy for everybody, right?
Right, and you're getting what you want because you buy it yourself.
I love it. I love it. What are you going to get this year? Are you going to get that Iron Man?
I don't know. I like to be surprised. I like to walk around and I see something cool that is something that is not something I see every day. You know what I mean? Something that's obscure. I like obscure things that I don't really. So I saw this guy at the con last year, the Terrifier. He's a horror character.
Oh yeah.
Art the Clown. He's from the Terrifier. He's not it's not like Freddy or Jason or something that you see everywhere.
Yeah. I love it.
So, you know, I'll jump on stuff like that.
Yeah, clowns, man. Oh, you know, the horror, because it's Halloween, the horror toys, right? Like the movie Maniacs and all that stuff, the Todd McFarlane stuff, it just sells like crazy. When I used to have my shop, and I remember one time I got in a bunch of used ones that someone was just selling their collection. You know, if you have a shop like that, they usually walk in and, hey, I got some stuff. You want to buy it? You know, and so we usually make a good deal. That's sometimes how I got inventory, which was cool, right? And so then they would usually turn around and buy something in the shop with the money I just, you know, and then, but I got these, like the whole movie Maniacs like series, right? Like, you know, that one, there's a couple of different series, but it had like Freddy and Jason and like, you know, all of them and different versions of them. And, you know, and so like I put those out and like I used Instagram a lot at that time. And this is like mid 2010s, right? Like 2016, something like that, 27. And I Instagrammed it out. Hey, just got these in. Within like 45 minutes, they were all gone. Like I had somebody drive down. I had two people come. One person drove down, bought like almost all of them. Another person came down, bought the rest, including all the spare parts. And I was just like, holy crap. So I thought I got to get more of these in my shop, but I couldn't because they were in the aftermarket, like on eBay and stuff. They were too pricey, you know, for me to like flip or something as a business.
To make profit, to make it worthwhile.
Yeah, exactly. So they're super. Yeah, horror toys are super. I'd love to see more of that on Veve, man. I want to see like all the characters. I want to see. Yeah.
And that stuff would be great for like like a Michael Myers or like they'd be great for like AR. They're built for, you know, even like people do cool things with Chucky.
Yeah, we got Chucky, right? So you know, we're gonna get some. We should get the rest, right? At some point, or a few of them at least, right? I thought we get the original Universal monsters like Frankenstein and all of them, like last year. Yeah, I was around this time. I was like, oh, because there was that Universal. I can't remember what it was, but Universal did the NFTs. I think it was on that, you know,
was it on Nifty's?
Possibly, I can't remember, but I thought Universal, okay, horror, Halloween, Veve. Hopefully, we got Chucky, but I don't remember when he came. Did he come at Halloween last year? I can't remember, but anyway, I want more horror stuff so we can have some fun. That's for sure.
So, what are you expecting? Comic-Con, are you expecting mostly Marvel drops, or I think they hinted at something outside of Marvel maybe coming?
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I heard that they're not going to do a surprise this time.
Oh, they're not doing a surprise drop?
Yeah, this is what I heard. I believe Alex said that, and you know how we had the 2 surprise comics?
Super limited comics.
Yeah, where they were like, hey, everybody, guess what? Whoever's at the event. I don't know if they're going to do that this time. I think everything's going to be announced. So we'll find out probably before we even go, right? Like, coming up. So, but yeah, Marvel stuff. I mean, hopefully there's a big comic like X-Men 1 or Hulk 181, or I really want Venom, the collectible, because of the video, the Spider-Man 2 video game is like coming out, and it's got Venom in there and the black suit Spider-Man and Craven, right? I mean, that's why we probably got this comic coming up. He's like the big villain in that video game that I'd love to play. I'd love to play it when it comes. So I'm on an Xbox though, so I think it's PS5 only at the moment.
You play video games still? You have time?
When I have time, yeah. I got my son plays a ton, and my daughter as well. But yeah, no, for sure. My games of choice currently are still Battlefront 2, Grand Theft Auto, right? Nice. But of course, I'm waiting for number 6 to come because that's going to be unreal. Yeah. And
budget on that.
What's that?
That budget on that game was like billions.
It's supposed to make like a couple billion in the first day in sales. They're projecting, right? Like it's going to be nuts. So I'll be all over that game because I love the open world kind of gaming where you can just do whatever you want. That's kind of what I like, or like arena sort of battling. I'm not really into kind of like the missions sort of games. Like I do like the Resident Evil series, and actually I picked up number 2 and 3 on the Xbox like recently, like a couple months ago, because they were cheap, right? I waited for like a year, and because I love those games historically on the PlayStation. So I was playing those like 20 years ago, right? Those were my favorite games of all time. So I was playing the more recent ones like Resident Evil 4 and 2 and 3 with my son, and we were having a ton of fun. So that's the only level based sort of kind of progression games I play. I don't really actually play sports games at the moment either. I used to play hockey and basketball, like 2K and all that kind of stuff, but I haven't done that in a long time. So yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's if they come out with more gaming stuff like on Veve, like we got, Capcom, and like, cause when we saw that, and that's Resident Evil for me, like, that's just like, so that gets me kind of
Street Fighter too, right? Capcom.
What's that? Sorry.
Is Street Fighter also, right? Capcom.
I think, yeah, I believe so. Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, everyone wants Mario as well, right? Not from Capcom, but, when they went to that Las Vegas Expo, and like a few months ago, like I think it was in June, and we were looking at like what could come from that day. That's when they had the Ubisoft announcement where they were standing in front, with that booth, and David was there, and they were with Ubisoft and stuff. At that expo was like, Nintendo and Pokemon and Funko and like other big companies like that, including the Tarzan people, right? I've talked to so I had
Tarzan people.
Yeah, the comic company. That's why we're getting all these Tarzan comics. So when I was lucky, I hadn't had Alex on the channel in ages, and he popped in. I sent him an invite, and he popped in. Like, I was like, oh, this is great, because I wanted to ask him about New York City and stuff, and with the Funko thing. And but he said that they were working on that like way before that. But at those licensing expos, I mean, there's all those companies, right? And they're walking around and hopefully with Nintendo.
Networking. Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows what's going to come in the future, right? But it's probably just mostly Marvel stuff this weekend. But there's got to be, Ron English is there. There's got to be a few other cool things, I hope, right? So.
Yeah. What do you think about the Louis drop?
About the which drop? Sorry?
The Louis Vuitton.
The Louis Vuitton drop? Is that the fashion one that's coming out now?
Yeah, it was like in conjunction with Marvel, or it's like a Marvel Louis partnership. But then Veve Meister posted something like that he thinks it's not just Marvel, that they may actually have Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, I'm still looking into it because it's all kind of like coming out like today, right? On Twitter.
Yeah, and I saw it this morning at first, and I saw it a little more before.
Yeah, I think the shoes and stuff at the factory. Yeah. I mean, I looked at the site of the designer, right? I guess this is what, and I'm like, okay, like it's all like Marvel like shoes and things like that. And it's kind of like, okay, I don't know, right? I don't know what to think of it, honestly. I mean, you have to be at an event, I think, to get something. I'm still trying to figure out I don't know what the whole thing is all about. but I think you have to be at like an event, and then, or you could buy the shoes and then get the NFT. But when I think, Veve Meister there, or somebody posted a link to the guy's site, and the shoe was like $1,500. And I was like,
guess I'm mixing it up. It's not Louis V. It's
it's an artist. Sorry, a fashion designer I've never heard of actually. Myself, but
I was misinformed.
Oh, it's not Louis V. Yeah. That's why when you asked me, I was like, Vuitton. I was like, like, wait a sec, that would be cool. But so I don't, like, obviously I'm stumbling because I don't really know much about it. Like, I'll wait for some sort of announcement. But I mean, it's like branching out again with Marvel.
Yeah.
So Marvel, Veve, artist, like fashion. That's also, it's like a trifecta, right? And they just did that with what did we just have that with there was 3 involved in it. It was the music. I believe it was the music, right, that we had with
Pink Panther.
Yeah, so we had like the music, Pink Panther, and Veve. Like there was 3 different things they had to sign with that or something, or you know what I mean, because the music was separate. So it's like they're getting a little bit more kind of complex with their partnerships. And I don't know what to think of this Marvel, and I have to wait and see what they announce, like what it's all about. But I don't know. It's not really like, if I can, just my initial reaction would be like, not super interested myself in like NFT fashion shoes or something. I don't know. It'd have to be like Nikes or something, like. And I can't get into the dot swoosh because I'm up in Canada. I really want that pass.
What about a VPN?
Yeah, I know. There's ways that I could probably get around it, but I have like, I usually don't do that kind of thing just because I work from home and I got my computer and I got all sorts of weird, it doesn't make a lot of sense for me to explain it, but we don't do that stuff. So
see, I think it's interesting if they get into like the fashion thing for like Veveverse to dress up your avatar.
Yeah.
With, like you said, Nikes, whatever it is, designer clothes.
Yeah.
Wear like Gucci, you know what I'm saying? Like
wearables.
Wearables for your avatar. I think that'll be pretty cool.
I wonder if that is like what you would be able to do with something like that. Like, I don't know. The Veveverse Wave 2 or whatever. You saw the hinting that it's going to be the same time as the Funko and the 18th potentially. I don't know if that's true, but they said that in their, I believe it was Funko who said it in that little
in the description
about So once we get access, if I get access, if you get access, or whoever's watching gets access, I think that's going to change a lot of people's opinions from what we're hearing about what Veve really is all about. Like with these collectibles and stuff, from what, if you talk to people who are in there right now, I haven't found out, like, I wish I haven't seen anything. I've only talked to guys like Fro Comey and other people like that who are like in there, and they're like, whoa guys, like, and I know there's the opinion potentially of like, okay, well, maybe because there's no negative news, maybe we'll be a little underwhelmed when we get in there. Maybe, I don't know. Right. But from what I'm hearing, it seems like that once we get in there, it's going to really change. It's probably going to change about what I think about certain collectibles, what I actually go after, and how I interact. And then, can you imagine you live streaming here and you building like your whole world? Like that's what you could do one day. You could just sit here and play, like how gamers play. I would watch people do that so I could like see what they're doing. And so I think it's going to open up a whole lot of things. And if it happens this month, I mean, that could be pretty wild.
Yeah, that would be pretty sick. And it's funny because they've been kind of quiet over the last few weeks or so. And I always start to wonder what's going on behind the scenes when they're quiet. I feel like something's around the corner. At the same time, I try not to get my hopes up, right?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be let down. But what do you think? So prices on vault values look to be still declining, right?
Yeah.
Odd sold for like $485. I think I saw a tweet.
Yeah.
You think the Veveverse will help stem the bleeding or stop the bleeding?
Well, I think what we saw when the first people got in, we saw a pump in certain things, right? Like Avengers Tower and stuff like that.
Right.
I don't own an Avengers Tower because it pumped, you know, like I haven't bought it, and it's actually, I think the Avengers Tower passed the Avengers Golden Moment logo in value. Just somebody
What did
I think the Avengers Tower today, I saw someone tweet that it passed the price of the Avengers logo, the golden.
yes, yeah,
like it
yeah,
actually passed it.
yeah.
So I mean, just stuff like that alone. We saw stuff go up in value when the first wave of people got in, the beta testers, you know, and then we saw a little pump again, right? Like a week later or something, when people started to kind of like talk about, they started to kind of leak a little bit of like, not like show us, but they started to talk in the spaces, right? So I've always thought that sorry, I hit my microphone. The next, my microphone's very sensitive over here. The next pump that I thought the VV would have, I don't mean across the board, but would be the next wave of people who get into the VV-verse. It just seems natural because, like you said, once you get in, you know, you'll experience with some of the people who are already in, and that caused a pump. Like people, you know, some of those people who got in obviously have big vaults and probably lots of resources, right? And, you know, want to build stuff. The rest of us, you know, who get in there, we're probably not at that level, but there's going to be people I think who are going to go and, oh my gosh, I want this now. I want that now. And so I do think we'll see market activity increase and prices go up on things short term, you know, for a little while. And then we'll see where it goes from there. If people buy stuff up and reduce the supply that's available, then there won't be as many to bring the floor down on things. But at the same time, if there's people who are not in there and then prices go up on certain items, people are going to obviously try to sell to take some profits, right? And something like that. So that's natural. So that's cool. But I do think that's what I've been saying the last couple of months. Like my thought was the next kind of pump we would have wouldn't even be market conditions. It would be the next wave of people into the VV-verse and their reactions to it. You know, from what I'm hearing from people who are in there, you know, I'm just guessing. So, but I still think we're a ways away from, you know, full market recovery boom. You know, that I think if you look at what's maintaining value and what's kind of still holding at certain levels, that's kind of like, you know, those are good places to kind of hang out for now, right? I mean, but there's it's tough, right? It's tough to play the game in VV right now to gain.
You think it's gonna
buy low, sell high, you know, that kind of thing?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna take until market conditions turn in order for you know, collectible prices to recover a bit?
Yeah, I do think that the VV-verse has a lot to do with it. People playing in there for hours on end and just being more engaged, and then having that public knowledge that this is something that people are doing, and people start live streaming it, and it becomes like a thing to do with our collectibles other than just looking at them on our phone and buying and selling them in the market for minor gains or losses. Like once you're able to get in there and actually do stuff, how engaging it's going to be is going to be interesting. Like, you know, people spend hours right now that we've heard in there just building. And I don't think it's also necessarily just because, this is just my opinion, right? Like, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily also just because they're vault builders. I know for me, the tools on the phone, I mean, I would, you know, we've talked, right? I don't build on my phone because the tools aren't good enough and it's too finicky. And I just want, the screen is limiting and I just don't, but I know that in a desktop environment, with lots of like controls and functions and features, I will have a lot of fun in there. I'll be like in there goofing around a lot more than I would have ever been. I think a lot of people are probably going to do that. So I think that will help, you know, prices of things. What things, I'm not sure. But if we look at what pumped last time, probably a good indication of what might go up a little bit more again. Like that tower, apparently you can go in the lobby, right? And you can like build inside the tower's lobby and stuff. And then, so I got my Spider-Man plan with my comics and to do like a showroom on that and goof off in there or whatever. And then land, I mean, the gated land, I mean, like with these IPs, like if Disney decides to go, okay, everybody, we're building our own little area here and you need the partners to get in there. Well, I mean, look out, right? I don't know if they would do that, but those are the kind of like potential things that could really,
a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, that could, you know, so Still too early to tell, and I don't know. But
What's also cool is, did you see what Ron English said about his vision for,
yeah,
right? Where he talked about creating characters that would exist within his section of the VV verse, something like this.
yeah, his section. That's right.
Re-
Yeah,
So it's going to be sick to see real artists developing in there, and ultimately, the VV verse will be limited by people's creativity,
yeah.
right? Which means it's unlimited because you have so many, ultra creative people.
Yeah, that's true. So that clip came from, I believe, the little mini video that Corey, when interviewed him on the drop that we just
Yes.
had with the little Monopoly dudes, that little clip is in there where he interviews them. If you like, so people haven't seen that little video, it's like 4 minutes or something. And Corey, and he talks about, all the characters he's created and the songs he's written, and kind of like, like you said, he's got like a whole world planned for this thing. And so, I mean, I don't know, right? That's just one person, right? I mean, does Disney have I think Ron English stuff is pretty cool. I don't collect a lot of it on the app. I'm mostly Marvel and, superheroes and all that. And it's just where I'm drawn to, and the amount of money that I have, I kind of have to focus on that. Although I did go for that Ron English drop.
So
and I do have the little green Monopoly guy. I got him right on
you
the
got
drop.
which one? You didn't get the secret rare. You got the
ultra rare, the green one.
Yeah.
So I got that guy stuck at sitting in there. I'm keeping him. He's just hanging out. One day I might sell him, maybe after the event or something. I don't know. But I'm just keeping him. I like him. I love Monopoly. Like, I love the game. I actually want the common because he's in the black suit.
Yeah.
And it says black tie, but he's got the red bow tie, which is kind of funny. But yeah, I mean, that's just one. But if like Disney does that, I mean, what are these golden moments? I've been holding my R2 and C3PO sets since drop day. Like, I want something Star Wars with those. I want those to be a ticket in, or like the golden moments, right? This is what maybe nothing ever happens with those, but I don't own a partners. I don't own the rest of them. I just own those two from drop day. I've owned a bunch of different ones, right? But the partners is sitting there, and I'm kind of like 2,000 or something like that, 2,300. I'm like, oh man, like,
when would you bite? Like, at what price, if it dropped to a certain level, would you say too good of a price?
I don't know, because there'd have to be more of a reason than just to collect it, because I would just go and buy more Amazing Fantasies like an idiot or something. You know what I mean? I just can't help myself. I'd be like, oh, I got $1,200. Okay, like, do I buy the partners and look at it and enjoy it and all that, or do I buy like another 4 AF-15 on
what are you up to? How many?
34, like, in total of the whole. Like, I got 6 commons and 26 uncommons. Some of it's for future sales and stackability. Some of it is just because I'm a nut. If they come out with stormtroopers, I'm gonna do the same thing. And not even so I can do an army, like, and do a big display. I just will not be able to prevent myself from buying a cheap stormtrooper. It's just everyone, we got our own collecting styles, right? I like multiples of the stuff I really like. I don't know why. I just it's almost like I can't get enough of them. You know what I mean? And I like scrolling and seeing them all. It kind of makes me feel good. And it's not the only comic I have that's like that, right? But
yeah, do you hunt mid numbers or no?
Not really. I just go for the. I've been trying to go for the 3 digits on all these comics that have been dropping. Just a 3-digit common. I'll go for like today. I went for the comic drop on the Spider-Man comic, the little Calypso one.
Yeah.
And I actually got the rare, which is cool. And it's actually a palindrome. It's like a 6116, which is the 616 in a way. So that was kind of a fun. But no, I don't really hunt mints. I just go into the market after what I've been doing the last like bunch of months, because the prices have been cheaper. Is I'll try to find that 3-digit common and just buy one, and just kind of like, just as a just to collect it, right? And so I've gotten all the big ones that have come in the last like 6 months, and I've went back into the archives, and I've snagged a few there, like Spider-Man 1. I grabbed a 3-digit there, and a few other of the big ones. I'm trying to get all the Spider-Mans, like just for my own collect, just for me, just one of each. Yeah. And so the one on Thursday, like tomorrow or in 2 days from now, the Craven one, I'll go after that, and I'll try to get that 3-digit common. try to land a secret rare on the drop. I don't know, obviously not going to get that. I've only got one ever.
One secret rare comic.
Ever, yeah, in 2
Or
years.
one secret. Any secret rare collectibles?
Just a couple. I got 4 once, and a couple others, not really notable.
I landed back-to-back secret rare comics, and they were good ones. Star Wars #1,
Nice.
and followed by the Doctor Strange first appearance.
That's a good one. That was a good one too. That was a really good one. You still have those?
No, I sold them for crypto.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but it's true, man. It's like I had before Amazing Fantasy came, I was all if people remember, I don't expect them to, but if people remember, I was all about the secret rares. I think I got up to about 40 secret rares in the app. That was because the scarcity and that Doctor Strange one was like always like that was one of the ones I wanted really badly back then. I just couldn't get there because it was like 1,000 or and so as soon as Amazing Fantasy came along, I was like, oh, something's changed. So I slowly just converted them into over the last year and a half, right? So that was sort of like my, we change what we want to go after. It's all good, right?
Yeah. I want to talk about what do you think of, so you've noticed like sometimes now, like what's it called, drop? What's the Disney
pencils and stuff?
No, not the pencils. What's the something just dropped? It was a cartoon and like 80% of it didn't sell.
Oh yeah, the Encanto. Yeah.
And there have been others recently where like 80% of inventory is left behind or 90% of inventory. I think even the last Spider-Man comic drop, more than half didn't sell.
Like today's comic, it's not sold out.
Yeah. Do you think they're over minting for their current user base?
I think their pricing needs to be better on those.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like that Encanto one, what was it, 30?
Yeah.
Make it 15.
How many were there? 5,000 or so?
Yeah, make it 15 and it's sold out, probably. I think it's as simple as that. And I don't know if that's IP or what that's dictating the price, but do
you worry about oversaturation?
Like I know what you mean by that because myself, I don't go for everything, right? So it doesn't affect me because I only go for what I like and what I want to go for. So whatever they drop in the store, if it doesn't sell out, but if I'm not interested in it, I really don't care. Like it doesn't affect me because I'm not going for it anyway. Like that's a nice looking drop, but I'm not, the movie hasn't, it's not really my thing, like, and some of those Disney stuff isn't really my thing. So if it doesn't sell out, then, that doesn't affect me because I never went for the drop anyway. Now, the real question is, because this is the question, right? If people are bothered by that doesn't sell out, it's because, in my opinion, because they can't make money on it. So if every drop that comes out that you're not a big fan of, like not you, right? But in general, don't go for it. If the price was 15, then we would all go for it and go, well, maybe we can flip this. That's really what people are saying. That's
but
really
I
what
think
people
there's
want.
also, that's true.
Not just generally. I just know that if that Encanto is 15 and the prices are lower, non-fans would go for it and try to make some money off of it because it would be, scarce and probably valuable. So that's the issue. Like, don't go for drops that you don't like. Now, if they're cheap and scarce, then it becomes more fun for the whole user base because maybe we can get back to those days where any drop we went for, you could make money on, right? Like theoretically, right? So that's kind of how I see that. Like, so when I would like them to go lower editions right now with cheaper pricing so I could go for some of these drops. But would I have went for the Encanto drop if it was 15 gems and less editions? The only reason I would have went for it is to try to flip it, to get more gems, to go after other things I really, really want. So, because it wasn't like that, I just didn't go for the drop. And I just continue to look at what I want to look at. So, but selling out on Veve, it's good. It's like, it looks good, you know, like it's like, oh, it's sold out. And we can all say, yeah, Vive's kicking ass. These drops are still selling out like crazy, you know. I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying, but
no, it does. And I understand, and I get that.
Mhm.
You know, just don't go for it. And they're not everything is supposed to go up in value, right? Not everything is meant to, not everything has to pump. But I think that people lose confidence sometimes
Mhm.
in the product if everything goes, like, if 80% of things go below retail.
Yeah,
Then you start to question, well, why would I pay $30 for something that immediately drops in value? Now, there are people who counter that with, like, when you buy a physical toy from the store,
Mhm.
you know, you don't, no one looks at the value, or you drive a car off the lot and it drops in value. So
Yeah,
you shouldn't really care, except that the secondary market is, like, so tied into Veve. It's like right there. That's
yeah,
the first thing that everyone looks. We all do price predictions, right?
exactly. I was just
So
gonna say that.
it's
I do them myself.
inextricably
Yeah,
tied into the product,
yeah,
because a secondary market exists within the app, that you can't separate the two. So that I think that they should be mindful of making sure that things don't, even if they don't sell out, things shouldn't plummet in value, just
sure.
because I feel like it gives people lose confidence.
Yeah.
Consumers lose some confidence.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. It's specifically with the user base that we have right now too, that it really, a lot of it, yeah, the confidence of it does go down when things tank immediately. But you
Yeah.
know what though? Here's the funny thing, right? So you know the Star Wars stuff that came out, like the
Mhm.
AT-AT and the shuttle. So I want those bad, right? In my collection, you know? And so I see them come out and I do a video about it. And, you know, I can gauge now pretty well, you know, if it's going to sell out or not, just even just by response, like, or the views I would get on a video like that. You know, like, not everybody's coming to watch a video I make, but I can tell, like, if a video gets really
You
good
can feel
initial
it.
views and,
Yeah.
like, you know, people are interested, right? Like this Craven comic tomorrow, I don't have a ton of views on that video, but Iron Man 1, double the views. Interesting, right? So I can look at these things and I can say, okay, well, if I do a vid on this comic or this collectible, will it? So when I did a video like about the Star Wars stuff, the ATST and all that, you could tell that, okay, price point and edition size, you know, the community was not interested. Is everybody agrees they look amazing, whether you're a Star Wars fan or not. Everybody knows that those two collectibles are
Yeah.
just, they rule, right? They look great, but nobody wanted to buy it from the store because the price is too high or the edition size is too high or whatever. So then I was like, okay, let's play the Veve game here. I'm not going to mint one. I minted the TIE Fighter, right? Because, you know, I'm a fan. So I kind of like let my fandom get in on that. And I don't mind, right? But I'm like, no, I'm just going to like not go for the drop. I was open about it. I'm just going to wait, buy one for cheap, maybe half price in the market after. What we found, though, is the only people who went for it are people who probably were fans who wanted to buy it. So the price is stuck at 50 gems, you know, and
Yeah.
I was hoping to get it for 25 or 30, but I've been staring at them for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The price is not dropping. They're staying at 50, just under 50 or 50, right? And I think it's finally maybe, and this is something that I would like too.
Yeah, me
I have
too.
another thought about it. Finally, maybe some of these drops are only going to be bought by people who actually want them. You know, now what you just said about the secondary activity is super important for the app and the activity and how we and flipping and making money on stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
I want to play that game too, right? I mean, it's fun. And who doesn't want to make gems and land something big and then
It's
boom,
fun.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
fun.
great. It's fantastic, right? We love it. So, but you know, maybe we're getting to a point now where people are really just going, no, I'm not going to even play the mint number game. I'm just going to like sit this one out. So then Veve has to adjust. Okay, how are our IP? What are they going to think when only 300 of them sell? Right, like, you know. And with the Encanto stuff, they had a space, and it was really cool. And there's a really good connection to, like, you know, the like, I guess the Mexican community and Hispanic
Mhm.
community that's in the United States, that from what I saw in that Twitter space, you know, with that movie and the whole holiday. So it could have been a real special one, right? But I think those people bought it. People who are interested in it were people like me who I'm not connected to it in that way. just kind of like let it go by.
Yeah. Do you think that they should be so on McFarlane, they're quick to burn
Yeah.
inventory that's left on the shelf, right? They burnt they I was sick to me that the Batmobile didn't sell out over there.
I know I got that one too. I
Yeah,
meant
me too.
Batmobile, you know? Yeah.
You think that Veve should follow? Do you like that practice of immediately burning supply that's inventory not sold?
You know, I'm still thinking about that because, like, you know, the Cygor over there, what was that? The monkey, right? That gorilla dude. Remember that one?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So nobody went for that, and there's like, I don't know, what is 250 of them or something in existence because they burned them all. So then all of a sudden the price is higher, and it's like, whoa, look at how it was like. Well, nobody wanted it, right?
Manufactured scarcity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So I don't want that to happen, you know, because then you'll have like, you know, Star Wars Manitoba and, you know, that issue, right? With that character that I don't even know who that character is. Just a character that was randomly in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's just scarce, you know, like, and so it's like 250 gems or whatever. I don't want that, right? Like I want stuff to be valuable because it deserves to be valuable, right? Other than just scarcity. So, and also, I don't know like about how Veve is thinking about the future with, you know, what this notion of them wanting stuff still in the store to sell. So when people come, there's still stuff you can buy. They burn the Marvel stuff, but it takes a while. It takes months, like
Yeah,
3 months, right? So I think doing it that way is a good way to do it. I think let it do its thing, you know, in the store, give it a couple months, and then then whatever's left, clearly no one's buying. So just, you know, just burn it if you can, like with the Marvel stuff. I kind of like that, but the immediate burn, I don't know. I mean, I don't have if they did that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. You know, people would like if they did that, people would go for the drops a bit more, knowing that, well, okay, there's no risk here. If they go for the drop, I mean, there's nobody else does. They're going to burn the rest, and suddenly I'm sitting on a pretty scarce item, you know. So there is then that opens up another game,
new dynamic. Yeah,
yeah. So that's interesting too. So I think I'm still undecided about that topic. It's a really good question. I'm not exactly sure if stuff remaining in the store for long term, because some of these IPs are not burning anything at all. Like, you know,
right.
like the Disney stuff. Like I think it's only Marvel, right, that has been burned, which is interesting because the Star Wars stuff, I like to see that burned. I'd like to see, you know, the TIE fighters burned. There's like 8,000 of them unbought or something. I mean, that'd make that one pretty fun. But because it's not like people don't want it, it's just the store price is too high. It's like 80. So in that regard, I'd like to see them to burn, but maybe not immediately. I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of
That's a great question. That's what got me thinking. I'm just like thinking about
it's interesting to think about the different ways to approach it and the effect that it has on the ecosystem.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I thought it was it's interesting. One that the Batmobile didn't sell out, and then they're so quick to burn over there, and I don't mind. I'm not mad at that, but I also agree with you that to manufacture, like if something only sells like 1 or 200, now all of a sudden it's super scarce.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I'd
But
rather
long
them
term,
just
they're
come
going
out
to
with,
be.
rather than just come out with like, so Spider-Man 252, right? You know, this one, right? You know,
Yeah.
in Veve. So they made that scarce from the get-go. And I mean, look at it. It's still a monster, you know.
What's it at approximately? Do you know offhand?
Oh god, I think the common's like 600-700 still, you know, and I mean, it's just a monster. So, and it's never really not been a monster. It's just too scarce to not be, I guess. And the people who got it, they don't want to sell it for cheap, right? Who knows? I always kind of think maybe one day it's going to be 200, you know, then I'll grab one, because that's one I can't get for my Spider-Man collection.
Yeah.
And they're all 3 digits because, you know, there's like 400 of them. But I'd rather see stuff like that. Like I don't know about you, but I'd rather like instead of them doing something with the price is too high and it's over like too many editions, I rather than do some scarce ass shit. Like, just get us excited. Go, holy crap, there's
Yes.
100 of these, and the price is 30 or whatever. Keep the price,
Yeah.
and or even 80. I don't know. Like, and people can go for their thing. I make it scarce from the start instead of like, okay, we screwed up or didn't sell, and it's kind of like a negative thing. And then now we're going to burn the rest, and now it's scarce. And then
Yes.
people can like buy up a bunch, you know, and then kind of control the floor. You know, I'd rather have them just do like a super scarce drop again and just
Yeah.
make it fun, you know?
And I think then you create more demand by making things a little harder to get. I had another thought and I forgot what it was.
It's exciting though, right? No, but like when you have something big, like that's why I love when these like, you know, so-called Grail comics show up, like Hulk 1 or
Yeah,
something.
something's exciting.
Everybody gets all pumped for it, regardless of how
Enthusiasm.
well it does or not. People get all jacked for it. It's fun. Like you get the, oh, I could land a secret rare. Maybe it'll be worth 800. I mean, I think that's the magic that we were talking about with these edition sizes and these drops and them not selling out. That's the magic we want to Veve to still continue to have. I want the chance to like land something big, even though you know, I never do. You know,
just the opportunity, and just like I remember when AF-15 dropped, I remember the sentiment before that. You know, it was down, and it was the bear market, and sentiment
just started to happen. Just started to go. Things, that July,
that drop was announced, and people were. It felt like a holiday.
Oh God,
you know what I mean? It felt like it was a special day. People were there's anticipation about it, and it almost felt like a Veve holiday. And those sorts of things create enthusiasm. And ironically, I think so people see the edition sizes and they get scared off.
Yeah.
Ironically, they would sell more and make more money if they reduced edition sizes a bit. Because if they had minted, 3,000 or 2,500 of the Encanto, people aren't as scared off by it.
Sure.
And then they sell more. And then ironically, they make more money.
Yeah, it's that kind of balance, right?
Right.
And then in the aftermarket, the price goes up, and then there's fees there. But yeah, they were so like through last fall, starting I guess with Miles Morales, really.
Yeah.
We were calling that. Remember all last winter, like this is the golden age of scarcity going on here because we had just got out of all these big drops. Like Thor had 20,000 or something.
And how many Boba Fett? What was the Boba Fett number?
Yeah, Boba Fett was kind of the last one. He was like 25 or something thousand or something until something like that, right? Like 25,000 or something. Yeah. And that was end of July, mid-July, right before, right before all that stuff with the accounts, merging accounts or all that stuff, and Amazing Fantasy showed up. And so that was, after, Miles Morales was the one that was like, okay, we're going to give you something like excellent and scarce. Yeah. I want that. Like wouldn't you want like a black suit Spider-Man coming up this month, like at Comic-Con here, and it's like got the edition sizes of a Miles Morales? I mean, people would just lose their minds, right? Like I know I would. I'd be like, even if I didn't get one, I'd be like, oh, because I don't know about you, but like the way I am as a collector and stuff, there's items I'll never be able to acquire. Mm-hmm. In the real world or even in Veve probably. Sure. And so I like them there. I like seeing them there. I like seeing, Marvel Comics 1 Secret Rare at 6,000 gems. Like I like seeing it.
There should be some things that are unobtainable to people. Yeah. That are chase items that are special.
Yeah. I love seeing it there. It's When we had those discussions about Amazing Fantasy last year, and there was the discussion about how many mint size, because we knew it was coming. We kind of knew how many editions should it be, like should it, because we were used to like, 30,000 comic drops and stuff and more. And it was like, I was like, no, I don't want this to be a comic everyone get their hands on. That's why Superman 1 on DC NFT is so special still. There's like, 3,000 of them? I mean, I want stuff like that. Bucks. Yeah. And if I don't get it, because I didn't get that one, on the drop, Superman 1, I had to buy it in the aftermarket. I still have the one I bought back then. I think it's $100 down from where I bought it, so it's not a big deal. I didn't get Amazing Fantasy either. I've had to do it the hard way, but that's okay. Like I want stuff like that in the app that is like, exciting and unattainable. And that's what grails are, right?
Yes.
And you got to have, I know we have some, but that Venom comic that dropped at San Diego for 1,000 editions, stuff like that to me is cool. Like I have one of those. I don't have the Avengers one that came, that the Grim Reaper one, the yellow cover, the other one that dropped on San Diego. I don't have, it's like $40. I could buy it.
I landed.
I haven't snagged that one yet, but I got the Venom one because it's cool. But like, yeah, I would love to see more. I mean, what's her face? Like a Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy, to mirror Miles Morales' drop. 3 editions, look different, one with the hood off, one with one doing her thing, and then, I don't know what the third one would be. And same editions as Miles Morales. Go for it, right? Let's give us some scarce stuff. So maybe that's an answer to what the big question that we were it's a great question about edition sizes and price.
Yeah.
Give us some like really scarce, fun stuff to get totally pumped about. And if you land one, I'll be happy for you, because I know I probably won't, but I'll try.
Has the weight, have you noticed a difference with Waitlist in terms of how often you hit on? I guess things are skewed now because everything's more accessible.
Yeah. I started off the Waitlist like just striking out.
Yeah, me too.
Taking 3 straight high heaters right up in the chin. It's just like it's just boom, 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 just no chance, right? And then finally I managed to squeak through and get a couple. So and yeah, I feel like it's been okay so far right now. Like I've done okay on some comics. Like I got like Iron Man 1, which sold out. I got that one on the, just a common or whatever. Actually, no, sorry. I got the ultra rare on Iron Man 1. So that was pretty cool. So I've only landed maybe 5 or 6 ultra rares on comics, 1 secret rare. So that Iron Man 1 ultra rare was a pretty good thing. It's 28 or something, or I think it's 30 now actually. But so I've been okay with the wait list. I've been doing all right. First couple weeks, I was kind of worried though, man. I was like, or first 10 drops, I was like, my God, I'm not getting anything of note here. Like nothing that was actually sold out. I couldn't land a single thing. And I was kind of like, what's going on? Like, this is not cool. How about you? Have you done all right?
Yeah, I mean, I was the same as you. I struck out in the first few. I've hit. It's a little easier to hit now, right? Because not everything is selling out and everything. So, but I've done all right recently. I did land the Ron English didn't sell out on drop.
Yeah.
Without after.
Yeah, I got that one. I think it was 15 minutes or something, right?
Yeah, about 15 minutes in, and it's done well on secondary. I think people are anticipating that he's going to reward people, set holders, with a gold one or whatever.
Oh yeah, at the event, 100%. Yeah. See what happens after Comic-Con with that one.
But you don't hold the set.
No, I just have the one for the invite. I just got the ticket and the secret rare. I mean, I can't buy it for $250 or something. That's another amazing fantasy. That's how I weigh everything in the app. I know, I'm twisted. Stop me.
It's AF-15.
Something else will come along, right? And the thing about so I was predicting some stuff for this Comic-Con, right? Like I'm like, oh, what could come? Did the same thing with San Diego, and I did a live stream that day, like back in early July, and everyone that was watching, I was like, okay, what are yours? So we wrote down a whole bunch of stuff. We all got we must have had 30 or 40 different guesses, and we were all struck out. But I got every single one of them except Avengers 1 was in there, but we got it after. Iron Man 1 was in there. We got it after, right? X-Men 1, Hulk 181, Venom collectible, but we got the Venom comic, right? So, the kind of, and all the other comments that people had and all the picks were good stuff that I think we'll eventually get. So this one, I was like, well, if you look at what's going on in the print releases, right? Hulk 181's already out, Avengers 1's out, right? And, Hulk 181, like I said, is out. So the one though that I was kind of like talking about was like Cap 1. That's kind of the big one. The next
big one.
Yeah, that's the one that we think would probably be up there with AF-15. Like there's probably no other Marvel comic aside from if they do something crazy with editions, like this comic back here, right? If they do a big popular comic, if they do Hulk 181 at that edition size, I mean, it's #1 in the app, easy, right? Obviously. But I mean, like if they just keep them all at that 10,000 run. But the thing is about that Cap 1 is that, you know, the subject matter on the cover is probably going to prevent it from ever coming to the app.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah. So like, and this is not a quote like from Alex or anything about that it's coming or not.
Yeah.
That was what he alluded to when he was on my stream, because I was talking about, oh, that comic could be good. When he said, well, might be tough. Maybe. Might be tough because
you want to look at it. I don't
because of Hitler on the front, really, right? So
but he's getting punched.
He's getting punched. It's great. It's fantastic. And there's a whole series of comics called The Invaders, which is in the 70s, which is like Captain America and the Submariner and the original Human Torch, and they're all battling the Nazis all the time. And there's all sorts of cool characters in there and cameos from like Thor before. This is like Iron Man from the 40s, right? You know, this is kind of a run of comics that was really cool in the 70s. That was like what he was doing during the war before he got, you know, frozen and all that. So like that whole kind of era, I'm really interested in as a comic collector, like especially that like pre-war, during war kind of vintage golden age comics. So that Cap 1 I really want in Veve, but you know, the subject matter might prevent it. So when you, then I talk about what are the next best ones. Well, we got some of them already, some of the biggest ones of all time. So there's a few obviously still remaining, but is it, you know, is anything ever going to beat AF-15? Like, I don't know, right? That would be the one that I think people will go, that would be right up there, you know, if you kept the edition sizes the same. So I want another crazy, amazing comic that is scarce though. Like imagine if they gave us like X-Men 1, but they did this number with it.
Yeah. Well, what happens when we run out of, or when they run out of like the Marvel and Disney and this big stuff that they already have and they exhaust all those things?
Yeah, all the big ones, right? Like all the top ones.
Yeah, where do they go? You know, Jeremy, our Uncle Jeremy said that he thinks in order to be like truly sustainable long term, you have to create your own IP.
Yeah, sure.
And you think that there's an opportunity? You think that that's
like
something
for Veve?
Yeah, for Veve.
Yeah, well, the logo is done well.
You're not relying on licensed stuff, and you know, create your own.
Yeah, I like that. Hopefully they do, because their logos do well. People like Veve stuff, like Veve branded stuff. So yeah, I hope so. The thing with the comics though is that the next phase is just, you know, comics that only exist here that are written now, like new comics.
Right.
You can go through all the history of the catalog of the history of Marvel Comics for the last 50, 60 years and give us every Grail and every key issue and every whatever, and play around with edition sizes and prices and, you know, exclusive covers and all that stuff. Marvel's got to get to creating only digital comics that exist only in here. Like once they cut, like, you know, like the Bat Cowl comic, right? It only exists on DC. So there's just not enough people over there right now to really be interested. But even though I'm over there still, right? Collecting Batman 1 and all that. But I mean, once Marvel writes with these exclusive artists that we have that are doing these exclusive covers only available on Veve, let's get a Miles Morales series that is only on Veve, that every month we get issue 1, issue 2, issue 3. It's only digital. This is going to happen in the future. Like Marvel's not going to be printing comics for the rest of time. They might do the print on demand thing or lower the amounts a lot, but they're going to go digital with a lot of their releases at some point in the future. I mean, it's just the way the world's going. It makes too much sense, right? So that would be my thing to answer the comic book question.
Yeah.
Would be, you know, new comics that only exist, that are stories written, that are produced on the Veve platform or by Marvel doing it digitally somewhere, you know?
Wouldn't it be wild if they did just that and created comics specifically, you know, for Veve and only digital?
Yeah.
And then some of them got so popular that people waited for the FA physical version of it.
I know, you could print it after, right?
Yeah, and it was like, and then like collectors are waiting for the FA physical.
Yeah, it reverses, right?
Yeah.
The first printed one of that comic that released on Veve 5 years ago. Go after it. That could happen, right? Why not? And so look at like you know, I don't follow all the new releases of all the new comics. Like I'm you know, but like, you know, the Spider Boy released in the printed world, that was like the very famous. I mean, the comic is kind of blowing up, and all that, like he's a character that people are really interested in, kind of like how Miles Morales came around and people were like, whoa, this is cool. He's not at the Miles Morales level because they haven't developed his storyline yet, but that's a physical comic. So if you take like something like that and you did it like here, you know, once we have a bigger audience too, because we're kind of small, like the whole comic collecting culture community might not even notice a new character like that in just Veve yet, right? You know, we have to have more eyes on it. If Marvel would have to they would have to like promote it and say new character, Spider-Boy or whatever on Veve, and this is a new series, you know, like that's, you can only get it there. So download the app and once a month there's a new issue or whatever, right? So that would be it. But yeah, so you go the opposite way, right? And then you're like, oh, and by the way, if you own that one on there, you get the physical copy, and there's only like, you know, 5,000 copies or something. And maybe if you get that cover, that's the cover you'll get. You'll be able to redeem it, or you'll be able to buy it. They probably would do that. They probably say, if you own the ultra rare of this brand new comic series, it's on Veve of like some character, you then have the ability to buy the printed one if you want, and we'll just ship it out to you. Like that kind of, I could see that being, I mean, I don't know. I'm not in the background of the business dealings of how Marvel makes their money, but that sounds like a pretty interesting business plan.
Even some of these Veve exclusive covers that already exist, shipping those out.
Yeah, man. Like copies. They only exist here. We see these artists, right? They got that they've hired.
Yeah.
You know, it's pretty damn cool. Like, so, you know, the 101 Pop, those guys, you know, the French guys who did the contest.
Yes.
Covers. Yeah. So I was like,
I was supposed to plug today. I forgot.
Yeah. I was, you know, they invited me, you know, because of comic background to be one of the judges to
I saw that.
Pick covers, like with Comics and Crypto and Sleepin' and that kind of thing, Corey and stuff. And they got David Ewan involved in it.
Oh, wow. Did they? Yeah, nice.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you'll see a video at some point soon because the community voted on who they thought the best cover was. And so I actually off air because they were pre-recording like a video about it, right? Mm-hmm. And so I was there chatting with them about it and making this video like off air, right? Like a couple days ago. And I had my little sound bites, you know, like, oh, what was my favorite, you know, that kind of thing, because I was one of the judges. And so David Yu's there too, right? And I haven't spoken to David Yu very often. People might think like we're friends, and we know. I think I wish, but no, right? Like he's super busy, so I don't have any way of contacting him. So I'm sitting there with David Yu, right? It doesn't happen very often. And so there was a video that was shown from one of the artists, one of these exclusive artists, and you know, so it was like the Alex Saviak guy, the guy who did the Amazing Fantasy, like ultra rare and the Hulk and the things like that. This guy's been around, like, I mean, he's old school, right? Like this guy's like a real Marvel dude, you know, for like 30, 40 years. He's been making covers and stuff. So he was like in his little video, because he did a video that everyone will see, where he talks about his covers, and he starts showing the print, like the originals of all the Veve stuff that we have, like the cover, the ultra rares, like the ink, like he did them, right? Yeah.
The physical,
the physicals. Like he's like, here's this one, and we were all like laughing because we're looking over at David, because you know if you look at his background and his collection of like prints, originals, all that, he was just like, oh my god, like he's like, there's like all the Veve covers, like in print, like not print, but like the originals, right? They could print those, like you said, and I'd buy those, the original, like I'd put it back here. Like I'd have that Amazing Fantasy with that cover. Would it be a facsimile? Like, no, right? It would be a variant. I mean, it would be new, so it wouldn't be a variant of the original. It would get different. It'd be some sort of different new category, a printed digital with an exclusive cover, but with I guess the facsimile inside, but not.
Yeah, the comic itself.
There's no ads in there either, so it's not a facsimile. It'd be something like unique.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, like Chris says.
Chris, yeah.
Like real collectors would love that stuff. They would love to receive, you know, the variant covers in physical form.
Yeah, I know Chris would. It's for damn sure. Chris, are you coming to New York to hang out with us? You got to get out there, buddy. Come on now. Imagine what you'd find at the Comic-Con.
Yeah. You're arriving on Thursday?
Yeah, so I'm getting there, like I'm doing like an all-night flight because I'm from the West
How
Coast.
long is the flight?
I have to stop in like Toronto, so it's like it's about 5.5 to 6 hours if it was just straight through. Like it's pretty far from me, right? It's like same distance when I fly all the way to like mid Mexico. Like it's pretty damn far. So but I stop in one spot. So I'm doing like late night so I can sleep. And then I arrive in New York on like Thursday morning. So I can have a lot of time for, to hit my accommodations and then go to the event and then go to the party, right? Like I don't want to miss that Thursday night.
So
So I
you're
didn't
gonna
want
be
to
out
fly.
all day Thursday? You're gonna be out at the con and then you're gonna go right to the party?
Possibly, yeah. That's sort of the idea. Yeah, I would go to where I'm staying, drop some stuff, then head over to the con and hang out there in the afternoon and just goof around, and then hopefully just follow the crowd over to this Times Square party. And then I don't know what'll happen after that, but I'll try to sleep on the plane. I'm pretty good at that. Like in the night. That's why I picked the evening flight so I could actually do that, and I could save on the hotel. I didn't come in the day before and have a hotel because I didn't want to fly in on Thursday as well and then get there sometime late afternoon and potentially have a delay and then miss that flight.
Yeah.
So, and Eli Manning, if I could maybe, I don't know, if I get to the con early enough, I could maybe get his autograph or something.
And Alfred Kahn also said that he wants to be there.
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, that's cool.
Have you ever met him?
No, just chatted once or twice. I was lucky enough to be in a Twitter space, or there was I can't remember whose channel it was on. Maybe 6 months ago, I was in like a YouTube, like with a bunch of people, just kind of like listening to him tell Cabbage Patch stories. It was super cool. And then I got a chance to show him. My wife still got her original doll over here.
She does, yeah. It's
pretty sick. So I was like, "Hey, check it out." And he's like, "Oh, it's like he remembered like that version or something." It was just nuts what the guy's been able to do, right? I mean, this guy, like, imagine the stories you could find out about him through.
Yeah, I think they're making a movie, right, about Cabbage Patch dolls.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right. I don't collect them; they're too big.
I remember when they came out. I was young.
Oh yeah.
And I wanted one, and I couldn't get it because it was, they were sold out.
Yeah, I collected my sister's ones.
Yeah,
I pile drived a few of them.
Yeah, I ended up like hanging mine from a noose.
That's what you got to do back in the day.
Yeah.
Then my sister would destroy my Joes, and my Transformers and stuff. So I stayed away from her Cabbage Patches. Oh man, it's gonna be fun. Oh yeah, there he is right there. Yeah, his wallet is empty. Yeah, it's not cheap, but it should be
for sure.
It should be fun.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on and be mindful of your time. I know you've got a meeting to head to.
Yeah, I got pushed back a bit, so this is fun. But yeah, man, thanks for inviting me on. And I look forward to like seeing you, hopefully, obviously. And
we'll hang out.
Yeah, and love your stuff, man. Love your channel. And I know in the summer you were producing like tons of content. It was beautiful to watch. So I know time constraints are like for all of us. We have life, and
gets in the way.
Yeah, it's for me a busy time's coming up in a little while too, with like coaching and all sorts of stuff. But yeah, I'll always be watching, and I'd love to have you on too to come.
Yeah, for sure, man. Always.
And I can ask you the questions because I want to pick your brain.
Congratulations on your drop heads. I saw you did another drop recently.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been lots of fun and lots of fun rewards. I'm doing vampires now because there's some of them are vampires. They have like the teeth. So because it's October, I'm like doing like a little series of like vampire rewards for people who hold those. And also I think here's a prediction for you. We'll see this guy soon. Dracula 1. We'll see this in Veve soon, guaranteed. I'm guaranteeing it. This is a facsimile, right? But this came out a little while ago, so I don't know if it'll show up this month. But we did get a Disney Dracula comic today, right?
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was this when I first saw it.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna get Dracula 1 in Veve. Just a guess. I'm just reading the tea leaves, but we're doing some vampire stuff. So I'll do like some vampire toys, and that particular comic I'm giving away, and then a few others. And then zombies will be back this month because I have some zombies, and I did it a few months ago, and that was fun. Just some little zombie prizes, you know, like, and
So
some
people,
comics.
so do you want to tell people who may not be familiar how to get your drop heads?
Yeah, they're if just as a channel member, they're free. And then like, so you get one if you're a member of my channel. And if you just sign up as a member, you get one. And then and that's it. And then like, depending on what level of membership you get, it depends on the drop head you get. And then each of them has their own prize like packages, you know. So that if you get a vampire, then you get to have fun with the vampire rewards. But some of them also have a different utility. Like if the vampire also has a logo on his chest, I could get you like comic rewards too. And then there's like a white hat that does sports. So they kind of like some of them have like multiple spots, and how it works is if you own one, you get a spot in a random draw, right? So there might be 50 owners, and I'll have 5 prizes. Then I'll just hit the random generator, and then they're all positioned 1 to 50. Wherever the number lands on, that person wins, you know? And so they keep that spot forever. So it's just fun, you know? It's just like giving out comics and stuff. And it's just something like I wanted to learn how to make an NFT. So I've done a few. My last one was 3D now. You could actually put it in spatial. It's pretty cool. And but I'm still learning like a lot about it. I want to know what I'm buying, right? So I just give them to people who join my channel as a member, and then they're on the OpenSea to purchase. But that's all the ones that don't get claimed by members. I just kind of put them up there. And so it's been a lot of fun. Yeah. So the zombies are coming back. I did all these little zombie minifigures for this one giveaway like a few months ago. These little like Mega Block ones, you know, they're a little horde, you know, and I mailed them out. And it was fun. A couple comics, and we're just goofing off. We're just having fun. But yeah. But thanks for asking, man. I appreciate it. Do you? Yeah, I think you have one, don't you?
I have a channel membership. Yeah. I have
Did you like, I don't know if you've got your drop head from me yet, but
I did. No, I did.
You did, right? You did.
I got 3 of them.
Okay, great. Yeah. So you're in one or two or three of the rewards programs. So, and you don't have to, you might win. You won't even know. I'll just DM you if you win, right?
Yeah,
in my Discord. So
thanks for coming on, man. It was kind of impromptu. Appreciate you jumping on, and I'll see you next week, buddy, in New York City.
All right. I'll be watching. Cheers, man. Thanks. See ya.
Peace.